Hey, it's Victoria Green Brackins. How many of you out there like to fly? Well, I love to fly. How many of you like to get on an airplane and when you're going on vacation or you have to go somewhere, you like to take the plane? Well, me, I love to fly, but I just want to ask you a question. How many of you all think it's strange that when you get on the airplane and they go over the safety video now it's a video. Sometimes they still have the live stewardess going over the safety protocol, what to do or how you buckle your seatbelt and what to do in the event that this happens or that happens. So when they're going over the video, how many of you all think it's strange when they say, in the event that we lose cabin pressure, or in the event that, we lose cabin pressure, in the event that the plane is going down and we need oxygen, that you should take when the oxygen mask fall from the air or from the plane, put on your child's mask first. Is that kind of strange that they say, in the event that we lose cabin pressure, the oxygen mask will fall from the ceiling, and you should put on make sure you get your children's mask secured first. Is that kind of strange? Or, what do you guys think about that? Well, actually, if you fly on a plane, if you've been on a plane, you already know that that's not the case. They tell you that in the event that we lose cabin pressure, please apply your oxygen mask first, and then you can help your loved ones. Why is it that? Why do they tell you not to help anyone else first? Well, by a lot of times because of pressure, or because of the adrenaline or what's going on, the pressure of the situation, we don't think, and we automatically, especially mothers, especially parents, they want to see about their children first. But if you put on the mask of your child and in the midst of that you pass out because you've lost oxygen, you can't help anyone else. So your child is there alone, okay, and they're living life alone now after that, but dead people can't help anybody. So really, the first law of nature is self-preservation, right? Making sure that you take care of yourself. And many people get into the politics, or the philosophy of being selfish and that type of thing. But really, you cannot help anyone if you're not whole. You can't give away what you don't have. You've heard that before. You cannot give away what you don't have. So a lot of times, especially when people get into religion versus spirituality and versus God and the Word of God, they misquote things and they misinterpret things and they teach others wrongly. But you cannot help anybody if you are not whole, if you're not well. And so this video tonight is just about a very key principle in life, in business and success in life, but just asking for your need, not being afraid to vocalize, to verbalize, to communicate to people what it is you need in a work relationship, in a romantic relationship, in a family relationship. You have to make sure that you're okay, what it is that you need. Not all the time want. Now that's when you get into selfishness in some cases, but not all the time. But specifically, you have to be able to communicate to people what it is you need to be okay. When you get on the plane and they go over the safety video, or the stewardess stand in the aisle and they do the safety procedures, they do not tell you to put on your children's mask first. They tell you that you secure your mask first, and then you may help others around you. Why? Because they know that while you're putting on that mask, you're losing oxygen. And so if you pass out, you cannot help your kids or anybody else because you're gone. So you take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of others. That's not selfishness, okay? As a matter of fact, I wish I had looked back at a quote that a guy gave when I was at this seminar some years ago about about the difference between being self-centered and centered in self. That's it. Yeah, not being self-centered, but centered in yourself, knowing who you are and being grounded and making sure that you're okay before you start to radiate out or spew out something negative and corrupt and something that's foul, because you're not right on the inside. And that's what happens a lot of time. I see people who don't know how to communicate what they need. They're afraid to, because of the way they've grown up, the systems that have oppressed them, because of racism, because of sexism, because of classism. I see people who are afraid to communicate their needs in certain situations, where they go into a negotiation situation and they feel like, the other person has more power than them, and they give that person more power. And so it's not a win-win. They come out losing. I see this all the time, and it's a sad thing, but I've also heard, and I do believe, that people do the best they can at any given time with the resources that they have. I'll say it again. People do the best that they can with what they have at any given time. I know that to be true. So some people, because they've grown up in classism and racism and sexism, they don't know how to ask for what they need. Okay. And to a certain extent, I would say ask for what you need and want, but more specifically here is most important and it's imperative and it's really a non-negotiable that you be able to ask for what you need, to be okay, to make sure that you're not compromising yourself, that you're not unhappy, that you're not unfulfilled. You have to be able to communicate what you need. And I'll give you a prime example. I was negotiating on behalf of the company I work for to do an event recently, and negotiating with someone to do the food. And knowing catering, because we have our catering business in our family, and I run the catering company. We run a catering company, so I know, how much things cost and the labor and the time intensity, as well as the staff you have to pay and that kind of thing. So I already know how it is for people to come in and try to get you to lower your price, when in reality they don't even realize the cost of things. They don't even realize the cost of production, much less you in being in business to make a profit, because if you don't make a profit, you're not in business, regardless of what anyone says. If you're a nonprofit organization, you still have to be able to make a profit if you want to stay in profit. So the thing is, when I gave the price that my boss had given me to say that we could afford in the budget, or to at least see what we could do with that, the caterer was saying, no, there's no way I can do that. I have this, and this. There's no way. So I said, well, listen, tell us what you can do for this price. If you cannot do anything for this price, we understand, because we know that people do different things at different calibers, different levels, and we don't want you to compromise your level of service, your level of integrity. So please, tell me exactly what you need to be happy. I've been in this position before. I'm in this position all the time. If our budget, when we max it out and see, the highest possible price point we can go, if you cannot do anything there that you say you would maintain your standard of excellence, you cannot put out anything at that price point, we understand. It's no hard feelings. We can go somewhere else, because like I tell people all the time when I sit down, when Greenhouse Catering is catering functions, it says everything is not for everybody. There's some people at this level, there's some people at that level, and we don't look down upon you if you don't, you're not where we are. But we just welcome you and may even suggest other people to you that can, give you something at that price point. But nevertheless, I asked the caterer, I said, tell me what it is you need to be happy. No, negotiation is not good if it's not a win-win for everybody. So we need everyone. Please like and share this video. We need in the negotiation class that I took, the people that I studied on, they said pretty much you have to have a win-win. We practice doing a win-win. Everybody should win for negotiations to be successful. Okay. And then, I was reading a book by Trump, and he was saying, oh, that's garbage. And so that's one philosophy that I, did not agree with him on. And one thing, and I just really was trying to see what's inside of his mind, because you can learn from everybody. You can learn either what to do or what not to do. So I got a lot of flack when I was reading that book, but nevertheless, I am an avid reader, and I love teaching and learning. And so I'm going to look at different people's perspectives, whether I agree with them or not. And then I may find that some things I do agree with them on. Maybe not on their core philosophy or on most things, but nevertheless. So I didn't agree with him on that. Trump says, that's garbage. This win-win stuff, that's for losers. You go in and you try to take your competitor's head off, or whoever you're negotiating with, you take their head off. I don't believe in that at all. So the way I was taught, the negotiation seminar and classes that I talked about making sure it's a win-win for everybody. And it's a way to do that. And you're going to get more accomplished like that, and you're going to build cooperation versus competition, because competition is not always healthy. It has its place in business, but it's not always healthy, especially when you're, building relationships and you're going to be working and transacting with people more and more. You want to make sure that you all have a win-win relationship, a win-win negotiation, because you never want to make people walk away from you feeling like they lost or they've been taken advantage of. That's not what I'm about. My philosophy, empowering minds and changing lives. I want people, after they leave my presence, after they leave my program, after they leave my training, to feel better off, to know that they're better off, to be better off, not just feel better off. And so you definitely have to be, willing to make everything a win-win when you're negotiating with people. So in this negotiation, however, don't be afraid to say what you need, whether it's in a relationship. When people say that they're doing it because, they're doing it for the children. I know plenty of people who have ruined their own lives, ruined their children's lives because they said they stayed in a marriage for the children. When in reality, you cannot be a whole person and give your child healthy, whole feedback when you're not a whole person, when you're damaged, when you're compromised, when you feel like you're unfulfilled and that you don't even deserve to be happy at the expense of or because of your children. When in reality, you need to be a whole person so that you can be extra productive and extra wonderful for them so that you can give back to them. Please like and share. I need to hear some comments right now because there is a connection, an issue with the connection. So please, somebody just like this video right now. Press something so that I know that you're still there. I see some people have joined on, but I'm not sure if you all are getting anything right now. Nevertheless, making sure that, and like I said, going back to the negotiation that I had with this caterer, I let them know, listen, there will be no hard feelings. I deal with this kind of stuff before as a manager of a catering company. And I know that there are certain things that, if you have a price point and you cannot go over that price point and we don't have anything to offer you that will reflect or exemplify our level of excellence or our standards, we will tell you, hey, rather than well, we can't work with you on that budget. So, these are some suggestions we have for you. And so that's okay. It's okay to do that in a relationship because if you are wounded, if you are hurt, if you are feeling, less than, that's how you're going to perform. That's how you're going to act. That's the lifestyle that you are going to portray and carry. And your friends will see that, your kids will see that, the energy will be there. So don't be afraid to ask for what it is that you need, to tell people. The Bible even says it, make your request made known. But when it's about your health and your well-being, your mental, your emotional, your physical health, it's never being selfish, okay? It's the difference between being selfish or self-centered and centered in self. Center yourself and know what it is that you need to be okay, what it is, in a business relationship, what I need from you in order, for me to perform at my best or for me to even, to be in this function, this capacity. Same thing in romantic relationships, same thing in family relationships. Not being afraid to tell people what it is that you need from them so that everything is out in the open, it's clear, and you can make an informed decision as to whether or not they respect that and they're going to adhere to that. And if not, and that that's what it takes for you to be okay, then it's something you need to move on from. So not a long video. It's a simple lesson. Voice your concerns. Let people know at your job, this is what I need to be successful. This is what I need, for me to be okay within my family, within myself, within my health. And if they can't respect that, then that means that probably may not be the relationship for you, the job for you, the, interaction for you. But don't be afraid. Okay, because you only compromise yourself, you only kill yourself, you only stress yourself when you allow people to run over you. I'm sure you've heard this saying that we teach people how to treat us, or what you get is what you accept. Okay, or even I heard one that was very good. What we resist persists. What you resist, what you refuse to address, what you resist and you shy away from, those things persist. We teach people how to treat us. If people feel like if you haven't said anything about it, it must be okay with you. It must be fine. And so that is why it's important that you voice your opinion. It's important that you tell people what it is that you need to be well, what it is that you need to thrive, not just survive in a relationship, in a job. You need to don't be afraid. And like I said, it's hard because of people who have grown up in classist, sexist, racist societies to feel like they have a voice. Even the beautiful thing is that as a teacher or a person who loves learning, such as myself, I'm always learning, I'm always observing, and I'm always finding teachable moments. But I've learned that a lot of wealthy people and very successful, learned people, very educated people, they raise children in a household where choice is important. They talk about in new age, education research and materials say that you should give a child choice. You early in life, when the children are, are able to speak and decide, when they first learn how to speak and how to, recognize the difference between things, give them a choice. What do you want to wear today? What do you want to eat? You want this vegetable or that vegetable? Don't give them too much freedom, whether it's like, French fries or vegetables, but we have two vegetables. Which one do you want? Do you want, juice or milk? Giving them healthy choices, but keyword, giving them choices so that they know and they learn that their voice is important. And you see this playing out in wealthy children when they go to school, because they've grown up in schools that have curriculum, that have Montessori, type habits, or even just higher level baccalaureate type stuff where, students are very free to voice their opinion. They're very free to choose, and it empowers them. So when they go places, they're not afraid to speak up. They're not afraid to be in leadership positions. They're not afraid to voice up when they feel something is wrong, because they've been taught that their voice is important, versus poorer people who feel like, especially when you have that golden rule, you have, public assistance and that kind of thing, the golden rule, he who has the gold makes the rules. A lot of choices are taken from them, and so they grow up feeling afraid to voice their opinions. And that's why it's important that you understand that voicing your opinion as to what you need, not even your opinion, voicing your needs to anyone that you're involved with, empowers you, and it's imperative. Okay, that is something that you should teach your children. That's something that you should, and a lot of times you inadvertently teach them the opposite by staying in relationships, staying in marriages for the children. Or I'm not advocating for divorce, or staying in jobs because of this and that, where people are disrespecting you and people don't honor your, well-being, your physical and mental health. They walk all over you, because what you accept is what you get. And so, like I said, I've been in different education school systems, and I've seen in certain school systems that serve a certain population, or certain schools that serve a certain population of children and families, they have a lot of freedom within their classrooms, even down to even the youngest children in kindergarten. The kids have a lot of freedom. They have a lot of autonomy. They're very independent, versus more impoverished mindset classes. It's like, hey, somebody should be always over you, telling you what to do. You don't make decisions on your own. You do whatever is passed down to you, and that is a crippling effect, and that actually causes certain people to stay in poverty and certain people to stay, in low classes. And there are systems that are set up like that. So not being able to voice your opinion and tell people what it is that you need, or even feeling that your needs are valuable or important enough to be addressed in a negotiation situation or just in a life situation, is something that's detrimental. So get in the habit of not just living your own example and being able to tell people what it is. Hey, no, I can't accept that. I won't accept that because, I'm not all right with that, or I won't be all right with that. That's going to cause this problem, that problem. Doing it for yourself, but also modeling that for your children, and educing that from them, okay? Or eliciting a response for them to make a choice, to tell you how they feel and how certain things make them feel, so that they're empowered to make choices and they're empowered to speak up for themselves in life. Because if not, it's definitely a detriment to you, a detriment to your success. Remember, you can learn your way out of every situation and on to any destination. This is Milk and Honey Success Education. Definitely something to empower your mind and to change your life. Please like this video and share this video. Join us on YouTube, Victoria Gatsby Watch Loss. Go back on my Facebook and look at some of the other videos in the video library. But this is all great content for empowering your mind and changing your life.